Brooklyn Rivera, an indigenous leader, politician and activist, has died at age 73 after years in Nicaraguan state custody, prompting outcry from rights advocates. On Sunday, Nicaragua's government attributed his cause of death to a bacterial infection that took hold after a bout of COVID-19. Ras Baraka, the mayor of Newark in New Jersey, has imposed a curfew on the area surrounding Delaney Hall, the immigration detention centre that has become a flashpoint in the debate over United States President Donald Trump's mass deportation drive.
The Sunday morning announcement came amid tensions outside the detention centre, which is run by the private contractor Geo Group, as part of a 15-year deal with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE.
Virat Kohli's unbeaten 75 and inspired bowling-led Royal Challengers Bengaluru RCB to their second straight Indian Premier League IPL title. With a 5-wicket win against Gujarat Titans, Bengaluru restricted Gujarat to 155-8, a total they chased down with 12 balls to spare, after Kohli reached his 5th half-century of the season in a lopsided final in Ahmedabad on Sunday.
Environmental activist Erin Brockovich has a new mission, bringing more transparency to data centre construction and the impact those data centres have on nearby communities. Brockovich, who was famously played by Julia Roberts in a film dramatising her legal case against Pacific Gas and Electric, recently launched a website with a map of data centres across the United States.
A military official from Pakistan has said that the country's resolute response to India during the May 2025 conflict had effectively debunked the notion of space for war in South Asia. Commander First Corps Lieutenant General Nauman Zakaria made these remarks during a special session at the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore on Saturday.
Carcass of a dead humpback whale whose attempted rescue captivated many across Germany has been pulled ashore. Timmer-lapse sad footage published by German news site News 5 on Saturday showed the whale being towed slowly onto a beach on the Danish island of Anholt by an industrial winch. Intends to conduct a post-mortem examination on Thursday.
A blast on Sunday at a building in northeastern Myanmar, said to have been storing explosives for mining, has killed more than 45 people, according to rescue workers and independent media reports. About 70 other people were injured in the explosion that took place around noon in the village of Kauntup in Namkham Township. Lawmakers in the United States are quietly advancing a proposal that could deepen military ties between the US and Israel in unprecedented ways, at a time when public support for Israel among Americans is increasingly fractured. Among the provisions included in the 2027 National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, released this week, is Section 224, the United States-Israel Defense Technology Cooperation Initiative. Two lawmakers in the United States Congress are pushing to repeal a section in an upcoming defence budget that would deepen integration between the US and Israeli militaries. Their effort comes amid outcry against the latest draft of the annual National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, a bill that sets the budget for the US military.
After criticising a startup called Artisan for misusing his work, artist KC Green, creator of the famous "This Is Fine" meme, said he's reached an agreement with Artisan. The dispute arose after the startup appeared to use a version of Green's art to promote its AI assistant Ava. Green's recognisable dog sat amid recognisable flames, but instead of saying "This is fine," it declared, "My pipeline is on fire." Well, Kine is on fire, while the ad urged people to hire Ava the AI BDR.
The YouTube to Prestige horror pipeline is looking very strong this weekend. Taking the #1 spot at the box office is Backrooms, a feature film expansion of Kane Parsons' series of YouTube videos featuring eerie found footage of a mysterious office space drawn from a 4chan thread that defies physics.
Rawalpindi, Islamabad. 6,000 Punjab police personnel are being deployed in Gilgit-Baltistan ahead of the June 7 election. It emerged on Sunday as the PTI reiterated its allegations of pre-poll rigging. Punjab authorities had initially approved the deployment of 5,000 personnel to GB and later gave the nod for the deployment of 1,000 more police personnel.
A military official from Pakistan has said that the country's resolute response to India during the May 2025 conflict had effectively debunked the notion of space for war in South Asia. Commander First Corps Lieutenant General Nauman Zakaria made these remarks during a special session at the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore on Saturday. Aida refugee camp is surrounded by Israel's separation wall, military watchtowers and remote-controlled guns. This Eid, for the first time in 2 years, residents set up stalls, cooked food, made art and let their kids play. They called it the Bazaar of Return. Al Jazeera's Leila Wada reports.
Dozens of people have been killed in an explosion in northeast Myanmar near the border with China. Local media and a rebel group have said the exact death toll in Sunday's blast in the village of Kaung Tat in Shan State was not immediately clear.
Rawalpindi, Islamabad. 6,000 Punjab police personnel are being deployed in Gilgit-Baltistan ahead of the June 7 election. It emerged on Sunday as the PTI reiterated its allegations of pre-poll rigging. Punjab authorities had initially approved the deployment of 5,000 personnel to GB and later gave the nod for the deployment of 1,000 more police personnel.
Some of those freed from a flooded cave in Laos are helping in efforts to find the last 2 missing men trapped inside. Rescuers have said. So far, 5 of the 7 initially missing have been rescued, but it is believed the remaining 2 men are trapped deeper inside the cave in a mountainous area of the central Zaisei-Sonban province.
Polls have opened in the first round of Colombia's presidential election, in which a left-wing lawmaker, an independent businessman, and a right-wing senator are vying to succeed President Gustavo Petro. Government allied Senator Ivan Cepeda is currently leading in the polls. In Sunday's election, he is angling to cross the 50% threshold in the vote tally to avoid a June runoff, which could allow the splintered right-wing to consolidate around a single candidate.
Iran has restored gas production at 3 offshore platforms in the South Pars gas field. The head of the Pars oil and gas company has told state media after the facility was attacked by Israel in March. Taraj Dekkani said on Sunday that the platforms had not been damaged in the attacks. Iran's IRNA news agency reported.
Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Ethiopians vote on Monday in a general election to choose members of parliament, who will in turn select the next prime minister. The National Election Board of Ethiopia, MB, said 47 political parties and more than 10,900 candidates are in the race, including 2,198 for the federal parliament, 736 for regional and city councils and 73 independents. More than 50 million voters are registered, with official voter registration figures showing women account for around half of the electorate. Young Ethiopians make up a large share of the population, with a median age of about 19 years, according to United Nations population estimates, giving them a substantial presence in the country's electorate.
A 26-year-old Pakistani woman is contributing to cancer research in France through work focused on immunotherapy and cancer vaccine approaches. Sabrina Khan is working at the Cancer Research Centre of Lyon, one of France's leading oncology research institutes. She is part of the institute's immunology department, where researchers study treatments that use the body's immune system to fight cancer.
The Lahore High Court has ruled that haq mehr is a legal obligation of the husband and not a discretionary favour to the wife. The court said haq mehr is a woman's lawful and religious right. It also declared that under the law it is treated as a debt payable by the husband.
Islamabad, Power Minister Awais Leghari said on Sunday that there had been no sufficient outcome of talks to secure discounts from Chinese power producers thus far, unlike over threes. 5 trillion in savings secured through revised agreements with other independent power producers, IPPs, and public sector plants. In March, the government had informed a parliamentary panel that about threes, 5 TR in savings, had been secured through revisions to power purchase agreements with 29 private and some state-owned power plants, spanning their 3 to 20-year terms.
Tehran. Iran authorities in Iran have reinstated some internet access 3 months after the start of the war with the United States and Israel, but restrictions remain in place for most people. The Iranian government said last week that it had started a process to bring their internet access back to a pre-war level, which was already very restricted, as Iran was at the time off an earlier 20-day shutdown imposed during deadly nationwide protests in January. San Francisco, California, a free-for-all primary has put Democrats at risk of being shut out of the race for governor in an otherwise safe state. California, starting along the west coast of the United States. California has a reputation for leaning blue. Democrats outnumber Republicans in the state nearly 2-1. Not since 2011 has a Republican held the governor's mansion or any statewide office at all.
Heavy rains have threatened to delay the search for 2 people who remain missing in a flooded cave in Laos after 5 others were rescued after being trapped underground for more than a week. Finnish diver Mikko Pasi, one of the first international rescuers to arrive at the site, told the Associated Press news agency that rains on Sunday had filled the cave up to the second chamber, preventing divers from entering until pumps can lower the water level.
Previous World Cup appearances, 20 best performance, 1954, 1974, 1990, 2014. First appearance, 1934, Italy top goal scorer, Miroslav Klose, 16. Most appearances, Lothar Matthaus, 25, player to watch. Florian Wirtz, FIFA world ranking. 8 Germany are desperate for a successful World Cup after 2 spectacular failures. They were knocked out in the group stages in 2018 and 2022.
Box founder Aaron Levy got us talking this week with a social media post suggesting that tech CEOs are uniquely prone to AI psychosis. On the latest episode of TechCrunch's Equity podcast, Kirsten Korosek, Sean O'Kane and I did our best to unpack Levy's comment. For one thing, we noted that he isn't disavowing AI tools, merely insisting that CEOs need to actually use those tools to understand them.
Welcome back to TechCrunch Mobility, your hub for the future of transportation. And now, more than ever, how AI is playing a part. To get this in your inbox, sign up here for free. If you're into EVs or sports cars, then you surely saw the kerfuffle over Ferrari's first all-electric car, the Luce. The reaction was swift and biting for the 5-seater EV designed by Apple veteran Jony Ive and priced at close to $650,000.